up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Big ups to everyone. I really appreciate y'all really being patient with me, still being a part of my channel, still being a faithful follower, even though I haven't been uploading in a while. I'm juggling more than one channel, so nevertheless, I just want to take the time to tell y'all I really appreciate y'all. And again, thank you so much. But I definitely wanted to get into this right away. I don't want to make this too long, because this Will Smith and Chris Rock incident is definitely an overkill at this point. And it's been a year. And, I get it. A lot of people are still having mixed feelings about the whole situation that occurred at the Oscars. You have a lot of people that are still diehard Will fans saying that Chris Rock needs to get over it. He had no business making jokes at Jada Pinkett. Chris Rock is corny. He's not that funny. Why did he decide to wait a year later, to make a comeback, and he wasn't that funny and this and that. Then you have people who are siding with Chris Rock and basically stating that Will Smith had no business putting his hands on Chris Rock to begin with, and also stating that Will Smith initially thought the joke was very funny until he saw the reaction on Jada Pinkett's face. Because being that Will is a comedian, he knows that the comedian game, it comes with, shade and getting some punches thrown at you here and there. We didn't think he was going to literally punch, but slap in this case. And initially he thought it was funny until he saw the look in Jada's face and his whole narrative changed. And at that point in time, that is when Will Smith felt the need. He needed to redeem his masculinity and the approval of his wife by coming to her honor. So you had all of these, a lot of women coming out the woodwork saying Will Smith was protecting his black queen, and that's what Chris Rock get. That's what he deserves for coming at this black woman. And I've seen Chris Rock stand up, several of his stand-ups. I don't watch a lot of them. And he's always made a mockery out of all kind of women, all kind of races. I haven't heard him just do jokes specifically towards black women or black people in general. I've heard him shade other races. But if you don't watch a lot of his stand-ups or his shows, you would think that if you don't watch or view much of what he does. So a lot of people have different mixed views, and this is just my personal opinion on it. I did watch some of the Netflix Selective Outrage. Honestly, I did not think it was very funny, because I realize Chris Rock is older, and honestly, a lot of these comedians, as they get older, they're not as funny if you were a fan of them back in the day. Realize when a lot of these guys were younger, like Martin Lawrence, Chris Tucker, Cedric the Entertainer, God bless his soul, Bernie Mac. If you were fans of any of these comedians, I'll say probably like during the early 90s, a lot of them guys were younger then. They were more animated. I remember when Martin Lawrence did his tour Run and Tell At, he used to be overly animated, loud, use a lot of profanity in his jokes, even when he was doing Def Comedy Jam and stuff. And that's what drew a lot of people to Martin Lawrence. He was always an unadulterated, funny comedian. And that's what drew up a lot of his fans to him. And that's how come when he did get his show, Martin, a lot of his fans gravitated towards the show. And of course, the show was such a success. and he didn't use the same formula on the show as far as the, you know, the overly excessive profanity like he did on his tour. But we were already drawn to him by then, so even when he was able to switch the formula, we were still fans. But I noticed as a lot of these comedians get older, they're not as funny as they used to be. Chris Tucker has a lot of talent, very phenomenal, has done really great with Friday, and a lot of other movies, and you know, of course, as his career blossomed and took off, he no longer wanted to stay stagnant as just being Smokey from Friday. He did Jackie, you know, he did a couple of movies with Jackie Chan, and he's done all type of different movies in which he stepped totally out of his element from what we known him as. He did another movie, I forgot the name of it, where he was dressed up as this weird looking, he almost looked like a trans or whatever. I can't think of the name of the movie, but Chris Rock derived away totally from what made us be drawn to him in the first place. You have to realize, as these guys get older, their experiences get older, life has changed. So Chris Rock, his jokes are going to be a little lame. His jokes are going to be more so for the white mainstream audience, you know, and that's because Chris Rock, within his own right, was always predominantly known as one of those comedians who not only just so was popular for his jokes thereof as a comedian. He's done a lot of roles. He's been an actor. He's done a lot of different things within his profession that has helped him to develop into not just being comedian that's well known within the black community, but also the white community, and even more so the white community. And that's what you want to do. You want to go mainstream, even if it means the black folks, your black people not rocking with you no more because you don't seem that funny, you seem a little lame. You want to go mainstream. You want to get not just money from people of your race, because at the end of the day, money is green. So sometimes if you got to cross over, even if it means your own people don't find you that fascinating or entertaining anymore, long as that money is rolling in, and them other folks, and I'm gonna say that, and them other folks is spending their money, that is all that matters, regardless of who rocks with you and who doesn't. No different than Ice-T, Ice Cube, who is always known as gangsters and stuff. These men have grown, matured, been married for a long time, got children, got grandchildren, and they're just in a different state of mind. So they're not going to be those same, you know, hardcore, you know, aggressive, let me put it in your face. These guys are older now, so their whole persona is going to be different from what we know them from. And I think that's what's going on with Chris Rock, and a lot of people don't see that. You know, the man is older now, so he's not going to be that same funny guy that we've always known him to be. But and I feel like that's the case with a lot of them, because really, I went to see Chris Tucker's show, and don't get me wrong, he was not that funny to me. If you go to see a live Martin Lawrence, he is not going to be that funny to you. These guys now being in their age range, they will probably be more appealing to a white audience. Just to keep it a buck, just to keep it 100 with you. Most of them are not going to appeal to us like they once were. So anyway, Chris Rock does this special on Netflix, and again, everybody got mixed feelings, and I respect everybody's opinion. Everybody ain't got to agree with what I say, but this is my personal opinion on it. I think Chris Rock had every right to use his pain to keep increasing his fame. That's how I feel about it. Chris Rock handled this whole situation very diligently. Y'all could say he lame, corny, he always coming for black women, whatever the case may be. The thing about it is, this man did something that the average black person would have not had the strength or the capacity to do, even myself, which is keep a high level of restraint. Even when pressured is being applied. At that moment in time, when Will got up from that stage, because he saw the disappointment in his wife's face, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out there was already a lot of trouble in the home front. Not knocking or judging anybody's marriages, because the difference is I'm not famous, so everybody don't know things that I have gone through. However, Jada has been very transparent, even admitting on her own show to her own husband during Red Talk Table that she had an entanglement with August Alsina, and quote unquote, I just needed to feel good. Will, the look on Will's face was like he was totally crushed. All of his manhood just left his body. Like, you know how when a person passes away, and how they supposedly say your body crosses over and goes to the other side, and it's like the body is still here but there's no life in it. You can literally see there was no life at all in Will Smith's face. And one thing about men and women, one thing a man cannot stand is public humiliation, public embarrassment, especially when it comes from his prized possession, which is his wife. It wasn't like this was something Will and Jada went through behind closed doors. And had August Alsina never made a song about it, never exposed it, it never would have came out. So she didn't even have the respect to tell him before it was even brought to the forefront. She told it to him in front of the world. So it wasn't like in the privacy of their home where they had time to process this privately. Then if you want to explain later, well, we talked about it, we got counseling. The man was shattered. You could see it all over his face. And the funny part is, I saw that same facial expression of feeling shattered when he saw the disapproval in her face of, once again, I'm becoming a disappointment to a woman that I value, praise, and worship more than anything. Jada has profounded her love for a man who's been gone since eternity. Tupac, even her daughter, has profound her mother's love for Tupac. The sad part is everything Will has ever accomplished, all of his success, all of, his accolades, everything he has accomplished, the one thing he's not been able to succeed. He succeeded in movies, succeeded in music, succeeded in doing shows. The one thing that's killing his pride as a man is the fact that he has not, out of everything he's won, he has won music awards, Grammy awards, Oscar awards, everything he has ever won and mastered. The one thing he has not mastered is love from his wife, his wife's love. Nothing is more disheartening to a man than to have so much love for a woman that does not gravitate that same energy. And this is not to say women don't love hard, women don't love their men. I just want us to stay on one subject, because always somebody else coming in where you act like women don't love hard either. Listen, the reason I stress this is because men don't love often. They don't love as much as we love. Women, we fall in love every goddamn day. We'll fall in love every damn week, okay? Men don't fall in love that often. So when they do love, they love harder than we do. And if there's any men that can come in the room and testify to that and say, amen, hallelujah, you know, co-sign with me on this one. Men don't love often. So when they do love, they love harder. So everything Will Smith has ever accomplished, he could never really accomplish or conquer Jada's love. Even when he proposed to her, she said this herself. She never wanted to marry him. This is the part everybody wants to keep overlooking. And this is why I understand exactly where Chris Rock is coming from, because everybody wants to look at the top of the surface. Nobody wants to look beneath the surface. This is much deeper than any Oscar award or anything that y'all not paying attention to the whole situation. She said that she didn't even want to marry Will Smith. I think she was pregnant at the time with Jaden. If I'm not correct, you know, don't quote me exactly. But one thing I do know, because I saw the interview when she said she did not want to marry, and she was depressed on her wedding day. Now, how many women are depressed on the wedding day? That's the one day you more happy than any goddamn thing. Now, your ass may be depressed after the goddamn wedding, when you find out he being a pain in the ass to you. But she was depressed. She said she went through with the marriage because her mother told her, convinced her to. That was already a red flag. Either you know you love a man or you don't love him. And what it was, because of who Will Smith was, what mother wouldn't convince her daughter, girl, you better get on that. This man loves you and he's feeling you. He's a millionaire and you are with child. And you're going to turn him down? Girl, is you crazy? And it's sad, but you got a lot of women who will push their daughters into a marriage, and I'm just allegedly, let me say that word allegedly. Everything I'm saying is for fair use, entertainment purposes only. Okay? Allegedly, Jada's mom was the one who had to be a cheerleader and coach her. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Marry Will, marry Will. She didn't do it at her own will. And that's what happened. And y'all don't know what all goes behind closed doors. A lot of y'all think these millionaires really got it going on like that, and they don't. I think Will Smith has been fighting for Jada to really love him the way he wants to be loved for years. Now, there's a difference between someone loving you and only being, put it this way, there's a difference between a person genuinely loving you versus they loving you out of obligation. Okay, you got some women and men, they only love their husband and wife because they feel obligated. This person been there for me. This person, it's like, because you love me, I feel like I got to love you back. Even though I really don't, but you wanted me, so I guess I got to want you too. We did have children together. You know, you did give me this life. A lot of marriages, people are together out of obligation. And why I really think, and I will say this, I think Will has always genuinely worshiped the ground Jada walked on. I think he's always loved her and still loves her to this day. And that is what really provoked him to hit Chris Rock. What Chris Rock said, that was irrelevant because the man was sitting there laughing. All right? But what happened was the woman he loves, he praises and worship, when he saw the look of disapproval. That's probably the same look she had on her wedding day. Because she said she was depressed. When he saw that same look of disapproval, it sparked something in him in which I have to earn my wife's love and respect. He wasn't paying no attention to what people were saying and doing around the room. He wasn't reading the room. He read his wife because he's always been so infatuated with what Jada feels about him and how Jada respects him and how Jada perceives him. It was hundreds of other people in that room, but what they said and what they felt meant nothing when he saw the look of disapproval. Because this is a man who's been trying to win this woman's love for years. It's one thing to get a man, to give a woman your hand in marriage, but for her to give you that real love and respect and that admiration, I think anybody who's been married for a long time, you want your husband, you want your wife to admire you. You don't want it to be, you don't want to be in a marriage in which that person feels forced, where you feel like you're forced to making that person admire you, love you, appreciate you, value you. Nobody wants to be forced to feel valued. And at that moment in time, Will Smith had tunnel vision because he worships Jada just that much. Is there anything wrong with that? No. I don't think a husband or wife should have a limit, but there is a problem when you take when you get in a situation with them and because you worship and you praise them and they show some sign of disapproval or disappointment with how you handle something, and that pressure, you're put in the hot seat. Now you feel like I have to do something. That's what happened with Will Smith. Y'all come up with all the different stuff because I know when it comes to these millionaires, y'all act like millionaires are not dysfunctional. Y'all want to make excuses for y'all because y'all fans. Well, y'all just hating because he a millionaire. Y'all just mad because he bigger than Chris Smith. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. At the end of the day, Will Smith felt less of a man, even with all his millions, even with all the love, and as much as people supposedly respect him and value him for the star that he is today, he still feels less than a man. That's what made him go up there and assault Chris Rock the way he did. He felt less than a man. That hit was bigger than that joke. He even said it when he took the award, when he accepted the award, when it was his turn to get his Oscar or whatever. All your life, all his life, he had to defend himself. Came up with this Days of Our Lives speech about having to beat up for his family, having to defend his family. No, you always had to defend your wife, who you still fighting to earn her love and earn her respect. So it was at that moment you used Chris Rock to show your wife, who you still fighting and struggling to this day. Now she may now have a lot more respect for him. And I think it's only because at this point she realized, she sees the backlash that her husband is getting after having such a squeaky clean, good guy reputation for years. Now, Jada may be she may have humbled herself now to realize how much the man really loved her, but it shouldn't have took that, you know what I'm saying, for her to see that the man has expressed it. And you do have some women like this. You have some women, like you have some men, they are very hard to convince, very hard to please. And then you get some that never got past their first love, never got past something they really wanted. Jada probably never really got past what she really wanted, which was Tupac. Maybe that's why August Alsina, she used him to fill in the gaps, because you got to remember, before Pac passed, Pac was in his 20s. August Alsina, not quite Tupac age, but he was a young guy, got a little swag. We know Tupac and August Alsina is nothing alike, but she just may have an undercover infatuation with young men with nice bodies who kind of got like a little thugism. Not that August Alsina is on a thug level of Tupac, but y'all get what I'm saying. She probably likes those young, swagged out dudes that's gonna rough up a little bit. Stuff Will probably wasn't doing. Will probably trying to be all gentleman-like in the bedroom or whatever. And Jada may be a wild girl. She may have a wild side that a lot of y'all don't believe, because she acts all elegant and graceful with these expensive damn ball gowns and stuff, and them be the main ones that be ratchet as hell behind closed doors. I don't know, allegedly they have had threesomes. They have been part of swingers. Don't let these millionaires fool you like they not living all kind of filthy, foul things behind closed doors. So anyway, that's what made Will Smith go up there and attack that man like that. And he just did a recent stand-up, and a lot of people didn't find it very funny. You know, they didn't find it very fascinating. So a lot of people have been insinuating that Chris Rock played himself because he waited a year. So for those of you who did not catch the stand-up, I will read to you what was said. So what did Chris Rock say about Will Smith's slap? I'm not going to read the whole thing, just the main parts. He takes his time getting there, hinting at the slap early in the proceedings with, "They say words hurt. Anybody who says words hurt has never been punched in the face." Then later in the concert, he confronts the incident head on, saying, "You all know what happened to me, getting smacked by Suge Smith." Everybody knows. Everybody effing knows. I got smacked like a year ago. And people are like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ears. Goes on and state that he is not a victim, saying, "You would never see me on Oprah or Gayle King crying. You would never see it. It's never going to happen. Fuck that, SHI. I took that, SHI, like former boxer Manny Pacquiao." Rock also compares their respective acting careers in relation to the assault, saying, "Will Smith is significantly bigger than me. We are not the same size. Will Smith does movies with his shirt off. You've never seen me do a movie with my shirt off. Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in a movie. You think I auditioned for that part? I played Pookie in New Jack City. I played Piece of Corn in Pootie Tang." He says he called Will after the incident, but Smith didn't pick up. Then continues the tirade by bringing up the Red Table Talk episode that got personal between Will and Jada, stating, "Everybody in here been cheated on. None of us has ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. She hurt him way more than he hurt me." Rock ends the special with a jab at Smith's new movie Emancipation, saying, "I love Will Smith my whole life. He makes great movies. I have rooted for Will Smith my whole life. I root for that mother effer. And now I watch Emancipation just to see him get whooped. Then finally explains why he didn't hit back, stating, because I got parents. I was raised, and you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people. So basically, that's the rated G. He went a little stronger than that or whatever. But nevertheless, everybody is coming for Chris Rock now and going at him saying, you wait till a year later. First of all, first and foremost, Chris Rock is the victim. Regardless of what. Will Smith came on that stage, didn't give that man a fair fight. He didn't tell him, I'm coming up there to whip your ass. If you don't stop talking about it, say one more thing. I'm going to come up there and drop kick you, say one more thing. There was no forewarning. And I think whenever a man confronts another man about something, you're supposed to give that man the fair opportunity to prepare to defend himself. I think that was, honestly, that was a sucker move. That was very suckerish, simpish on Will Smith's behalf, because he didn't give that man time to prepare himself. He caught him at a very vulnerable moment where Chris Rock was nowhere prepared. So that was very feminine on Will Smith's part. You let a man know, give that man time to ground himself. That's like if you tell a man, I'm coming to whip your behind, and you giving him time to brace himself or whatever, y'all can have a fair fight. Then once that man is down and you don't punch him down, okay, that's it. You walk away. But once a man is down, you kicking him and kicking him and stumping him and stumping him and stumping him and stumping him in the head. Now you don't went in a simp mode, because the man at this point is not able to defend himself. You already knocked him down. Let that be. Then when he slaps Will Smith, I'm sorry, when Will Smith slaps him, had the audacity to walk off the stage like he just did a runway walk with GQ Smooth magazine, sashays his behind, back down the stairs. No security came and intervened, because they don't have a problem with us hurting one another. Nobody came to Chris Rock's defense at all. Everybody came to check on Will Smith. And I thought that was very foul, very effed up. Because, again, Will Smith had this, I'm the good guy. And that's why everybody automatically gravitated towards him, because they've never seen him act out in that manner. So, he sits back down and he's still going at it. Keep my name, my wife's name out your mother effing mouth. Out your mouth. I'm like, you know what? You've been trying to prove your masculinity for a long time. That had to Jada. That had nothing to do with Chris Rock. That was displaced anger. That was displaced anger, and he took it out on a weaker vessel. Because truth be told, a lot of people been cracking on Will Smith. Corey Holcomb, definitely went in. And I know good and well Will Smith would not have had that same energy had Corey Holcomb been the one up there cracking on his wife, because Corey Holcomb said way worse. Unadulterated. He was going in, calling Jada all a bald head or bitchs. So my thing is, it was selective outrage. Will Smith chose to get his balls up when it came to, taking it out on a guy he felt was less of a threat to him. And not only that, he could have waited till Chris Rock got off stage, waited till, he saw him in the street. It was many other ways in which he could have directed that energy, and he directed it during a very vulnerable moment. This man is already hosting a show on live TV, a huge award that not just the Source Awards, which we know the Source Awards has been going for years, but not BT Awards, nowhere where there was predominantly a black audience watching. He utilized that moment during a predominantly white audience that was viewing a show of that type of level of prestige. He did it at a very vulnerable, moment. The timing was just totally to Chris Rock's disadvantage. So for people to be on some, well, Chris Rock, it's been a year, he need to be over it. Why didn't he address it right then? First of all, Chris Rock is the victim. Chris Rock did not have to do it at no specific time. He's the victim. He needed time to process it as much as he felt he needed it. Not when Will Smith said so, not when Will Smith fans said so. The man took his pain and made profit. Now, whether if you felt it was funny or not, it did not stop, thousands or millions or however many that viewed the show from viewing it. Because the truth be told, even people who don't think Chris Rock is that funny, everybody who viewed it went to view it for that reason. Whether y'all want to try to do this pushback thing where Chris Rock should have let it go, he shouldn't have talked about it. A lot of people wanted him to talk about it. A lot of people wanted Chris Rock to address it because Chris Rock was silent about it and we never really got to hear his intake on it. And Will Smith with that dry ass half apology that was not remorseful, that was not genuine, not authentic. He acted like he was being held hostage in Afghanistan. That was not a sincere apology. That was I realize the heat is coming at me. Too many people are saying something negative towards me about it. So I got to make myself look like the stand-up dude by apologizing. Look how long, ironically, nobody had nothing to say with how long it took Will Smith to apologize. But everybody got something to say about how long it took Chris Rock to respond to the attack. With a situation like that, there is no timing. There is no timing. That was a shock for somebody to come on the stage and slap you in front of millions of people. And you're the hostess. You wasn't just someone that came up there that one time to get, you wasn't part of the audience where you just came up there one time to get your speech and to do your acceptance speech and go sit back down. This man had a job. That was his job. Will Smith attacked this man during a vulnerable moment doing his job. That's like you on your job. You working at McDonald's flipping burgers. Somebody leap over the goddamn grill and smacks the hell out you. He didn't wait till you was in the street. Didn't wait till he went backstage. Will Smith is so well respected. He could have made Chris Rock feel smaller than him by simply putting him in his place privately behind closed doors. Or he could have jokingly even went up there, you know what I'm saying? And played along with it, you know what I mean? And just anything. Will Smith is a very intelligent guy. He has not made it this far for no reason. But the other thing I wanted to add to this before I get ready to shut it down, a lot of y'all that are running to the defense of Will Smith, and I get it, y'all all are fans. I was a fan once upon a time until that incident. I'm no longer a fan anymore. That's just my opinion. I don't knock anybody else who decides to still rock with Will Smith. That is your opinion. My whole intake with him, Will Smith has always been a man who valued how other people perceive him. He's always been a man that's always been very careful with how he conducted himself in the public eye, which is the reason why you never really heard any major scandals, any major controversy about Will Smith. And I think that's the reason why Will Smith stayed this clean-cut guy for so long, is because he values his image. He values how people perceive him as a man. And anytime as a man or as a woman, you value your image, you do everything you can to walk that fine line to keep it clean. And that's what Will Smith has always done. After that incident, a lot of y'all don't know it like Will Smith knows it. A lot of y'all caping hard. A lot of y'all mad at people who won't cape for Will Smith. Coming in the comment section, y'all need to get over it. I forgive him. Oh well. Y'all can cape for him all he want. Will Smith knows the truth. He knows that a lot of people will never rock with him the same way they used to. Now, this doesn't mean he's going to lose millions. This doesn't mean he's going to end up homeless, or his marriage still may even sustain. It does not mean in y'all eyes that he's ever going to lose his success. As fans, we know that he's never going to really lose his success. But y'all are not Will Smith. Will Smith himself knows. Will Smith is a very sensitive guy. He's a sensible guy. But I think he's very sensitive, and I think he's very self-conscious. I think he's always been the type of guy to walk a fine line, because he does not want to bring any type of negative energy surrounding him and his family. And that's the reason why he's walked such a clean walk for so long. He knows in his heart that is gone. That's tarnished. Even if Will Smith, let's say before this incident, let's say just hypothetically speaking, Will Smith had 1 million fans before the incident. That incident probably costing him 300,000 fans, which we know ain't diddly shit compared to the rest of the fans that are still rocking and supporting him. Believe you me, that 300,000 who don't rock with him no more, that means more to him than the millions that still are. Because you got to remember, this man values his clean-cut image. He's had it for years. The majority of his career. He's not a Kanye West where he's used to being put in the hot seat. He's not a man that's used to controversy. Y'all in y'all eyes, because y'all are looking from the bottom of the spectrum. You're nowhere on Will Smith level. So to y'all, it don't seem like a loss. But for him, it is a loss. Trust and believe these stars, Will Smith, Beyonce, all of these people y'all praise and worship, when they cannot stand having any type of negative publicity or anything tainting or tarnishing the perfect image they have strived so hard to build. Because you want your fans to keep supporting you, worshiping you, not just the million that you know you've always had. You want them 300,000 to support you. You want them 2,000. You want them 250 people. You want them 250 people. Numbers are small, but it's going to forever be on Will Smith's conscience that people don't look at me as the same Will Smith. Whenever he goes anywhere, in the back of his mind, he's thinking they probably looking at what I did. See, before he didn't have that. Before this incident, he was able to be a man of dignity and grace, and people look at him as Will Smith. The man lived this long and walked this long with a clean-cut image. He's always had that. That one incident snuffed that. It took that away from him. So as much as y'all want to cape hard for him and saying he's not losing anything, he's still good. He has his millions. He has his wife. He's doing great with his movies. Not as great as he could have been doing before that slap. The man used to millions. He don't care about that. The man used to, doing great. Listen, Will knows his ratings better than any of y'all ever will. Will is noticing the lack of support he had since that incident. He's paying attention to the ratings. Got to remember, Will is not used to nobody talking bad on him. This is a man who's been clean cut for years. Now, Kanye West, that man, he used to controversy. R. Kelly used to controversy. Michael Jackson, God bless his soul, was used to controversy. A person who has been, clean cut, like they say, cleanliness is next to godliness. This man is used to being the all-around, successful, clean cut, no controversy type of man. He may never admit it. He may never talk about it because, for one, his ego, his pride, he's not going to discuss it. And he don't want people having any more empathy for Chris Rock than they already got, because the more empathy they have for Chris Rock, the less he feels it makes him look bad. It affects how they perceive him. He's not going to admit it, but in his heart, in his mind, he will forever be bothered that he's not that same Will Smith that all of us once knew. Y'all can cape, celebrate, go to all his movies, buy his t-shirts. Bottom line is, he lost a lot of fans behind that. It's not going to hurt his pockets, but he ain't worrying about that. He ain't never got to worry about millions. He lost something very valuable, and that's his reputation. And even the good word says a valuable reputation is more worthy than rubies, than golds, than diamonds. Once you get a bad name, it changes everybody's outlook. Them ratings ain't popping for him like it used to be. He's going to have people that's going to go to his movies. They're going to go and see Bad Boys 4. But those who were supporters, those are the ones who aren't going. They're not going to support the movie. And it's going to reflect. He's going to notice it more than anybody, because this man is used to being on top. This man is used to winning at everything. He's going to notice the changes. He's already noticing it, and we can't see it from his eyes. That's why he responded and said he really wished Chris Rock would let it go. He wants to forget about it. But most people who inflict damage on you, that's how it is. They want you, just forget about it. So what, I assaulted you? So what, I raped you? So what, y'all hurt your child? And I know that's stretching it too far, but I'm just saying, anytime a victim is in a situation, they want the victim to hurry up and get over it. Chris Rock ain't got to get over a goddamn thing. If he want to talk about it 20 years from now, he could do that. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Leave y'all opinion below. It is your girl, your diva and knowledge, Lady Mocha, represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Y'all take care, and please hit that like button before you exit. I would really appreciate that. Y'all take care. Talk to you soon.